and thank you so much for joining me for your SmackDown review. It is December 19th. So much to talk about tonight. Well, kind of. Get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. What there is to talk about, we're going to talk about it all. This was a taped episode, which never has like the energy of a live episode, but we're live. We're live right now. There's Daphne crawling him back. Getting cozy. Very, 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 very windy here. So knocking on wood, praying that my internet holds up. But get in those super chats, get in those humper chats at humperchats.com. Also, please leave a thumbs up on this video. We love a good thumbs up. We love the support. It helps people find us in the algorithm. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I see people piling into the chat here. Thank you so much. No Cresta tonight. She is at House of Glory, actually. And then tomorrow, she's going to be at the Christmassy Collisions, the holiday collisions that is running from Hammerstein. So I am excited for her to be able to see that. I wanted to go last year. I want to go this year, but it being with the holiday season, I'm doing like so much family stuff that I haven't been to a show at Hammerstein yet for AEW. I've been there for other wrestling shows, of course, but it's always fun. It's always a fun time. C2 season on the AEW side is always a good time. So there you go. But we're gonna talk some SmackDown tonight. Some good, but man, the bad is exhaustingly bad at this point. Like, I feel like they keep putting on the same show. So I feel like I keep putting on the same show. I feel like I come on here with the same complaints every week, the same criticisms, the same exhaustion from the way that the creative has been. And there's reports about how SmackDown is aware that they need a fresh start. And they reported that like a couple months ago when we had like 2 good episodes. So hopefully Royal Rumble season is a proper reset. There are spoilers out for next week that we're not going to cover here, but there is something that a lot of people have been rooting for that happened. But man, oh man, have they just gone to the same well so many times for the same program. It is so exhausting. So exhausting. We got a chat asking if we could talk about World Tag League after SmackDown. I'm always willing to talk some TMDK, man. I'm a huge fan of everybody in that faction, sincerely. But we will talk about SmackDown, and then we'll talk about whatever you guys want. Please do get into your super chats and humper chats. Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com as well. We had our debunk-a-thon, which is mostly like Sean going through things that credible publications have published and either confirming what he's heard or saying like this is partly true, but there's also this other context or this differs from what I heard. But it's also him going on Facebook and finding like the most wild stuff that he possibly can to help knock down, because it is Facebook is a lawless land when it comes to pro wrestling, you guys. Like, it is nuts the amount of AI or just made up stuff that happens over there. It's nuts. But that's on Fightful Select for you guys. Updates on the Thea Hale, Blake Monroe, formerly Mariah May, botched ending that led to a title change last week. Some internal reactions all over the place from that. Some TNA contract news too, which Sean's working to get even more clarity about for you. Lots up on Fightful Select. Our friends at WrestleVotes also breaking some news this week, including WWE having a crossover with a major property that we'll just say has been running up that hill. But FightfulSelect.com, the best $5.99 for now in the biz. We don't know what's going to happen next year, so lock in now. But Sean is snopesing wrestling news. I love that. We got some chats in. One from Greg Cherry, who kicks us off saying, Merry Christmas, Kate and Fightful Faithful. I'm going to a wrestling convention tomorrow, so I got pampered so I don't look like a hobo. Love all yins. Well, thank you so much. Let us know what wrestling convention it is. I'm not positive what is happening this weekend with that. So I hope you have fun. I hope it's a positive experience. We talked about wrestling conventions last week and other conventions. That might have been the week before. And Cresta's a part of like so many fandoms, and she gave us rundowns on what like the smelliest ones were, like what conventions to just So we bring you the important content here. We bring you the important content. Taylor Cannon, a member for 49 months, says, "Hi, Kate. I hope you are doing great. 4 years and 1 month here on this channel. It's been a wonderful time, and you and Mr. Pulowski are a big reason why." Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. There's a lot of different avenues that people can choose to support us. YouTube subscriptions, Fightful Select subscriptions, super chats. Like, it genuinely means so much on so many levels because we, despite everybody saying we're on the payroll of whatever promotion they don't like, we're not. We're super not. So we are funded by you guys largely, and sponsors and Sean's hard work. So thank you for subscribing, being a YouTube member, whatever ways that you can support us. Hey, we appreciate the free ways that you support us too. So, but being a YouTube member is one that we certainly appreciate as well. Thanks for the nice words about me and Alex. I love working with Alex. He's the best. We have fun. We have fun. This episode of SmackDown, not so much on the fun front though, guys. Like, I gotta be real. Like, this has gotten so insulting to our intelligences again. Like, it's so funny because there's like all this reaction about end of year awards and lists and all these things, which is always hilarious to me because, like, you can give your own star ratings to stuff, you can create your own lists, you can give out your own awards by your own criteria. But there's been some outrage from a variety of people. Everyone's going to point to one specific person because they made a lot of noise, but like a lot of people are like, but WWE is selling higher and whatever. It's like, not everybody's awards criteria are based on, like, I don't know if anybody's awards are like who's selling the most is the best promotion. But like, AEW's cleaning up. And what's so funny is, like, I agree that AEW has had a better year than WWE, and probably I would say every other promotion, because I'm thinking about the G1 and, like, I like them putting Takeshita as the winner there, but like that whole G1 was dominated by House of Torture. So like, from the wrestling that I watch, AEW's probably had the strongest year. It hasn't been like a light you on fire kind of year though. But the difference is, like, they don't insult our intelligence on weekly programming for the most part. There's certainly been times, but like, it feels like they just went back in WWE to dragging out these feuds. And we're going to talk about this Aleister Black and Damian Priest one in a second. Cody and Drew for the third time. Like, God bless them. They're trying to keep it hot. It's impossible because the creative's been bad. Like, I just feel like all of the things that we complained about in the Vince era are just back. The constant rematches, the constant DQs, the constant interference, the lazy pins, the reduced screen time for women, the reduced screen time for tag wrestling, like all of these things that we used to complain about. They were like, we're just going to go back to doing them all. The de-emphasis on the mid-card picture, because they haven't done anything with the IC title, though the US Open Challenge has been refreshing. And if you've seen next week's spoiler, maybe we're getting something going with people who need to. But like, it's so weird how it just feels like this is across the board in wrestling for me. When you've shown us what you can be capable of, it comes across as so lazy when you go back to doing all the shit that your fan base hates. And it feels like they're just coasting because they keep selling. That does not make it a creatively sound product. I'm sorry. Like, people that are like, yeah, but they're selling it. I don't care. It's boring to watch. I review it every week and I think it sucks right now. Like, Royal Rumble season certainly freshens that up. Don't get me wrong. But like, when I see, well, we're not done with Damian Priest and Aleister Black yet, when they had a freaking last man standing match 2 months ago, what are we doing? Zelina has joined Aleister Black and all they've done is lose since she's joined. You can be incredibly pretty and spooky and great on the mic and charismatic and complete this picture. If you don't win, it doesn't mean anything. This feud has never felt hot. It's been going on since the summer. It had a last man standing match, which the whole point of that stipulation is that the last man who was standing in that match won the feud. And we're continuing it because of a fireball effect. What in the 8-year-old hell are we doing? Sesame Street is not that insulting. This is ridiculous. It is exhausting and it is bad. We get Damian Priest, one of the most natural on the mic. Love him. Opens the show. Lets us know that John Cena retired, in case you guys hadn't heard. And there's a thank you Cena chant that he leads. And Priest claims his issues with Aleister Black and Zelina are over. But you're not going to believe this. Immediately, Zelina interrupts, calling Priest a hypocrite for hiding behind Rhea Ripley and reminding him that he didn't actually score the decisive pin last week. He won a last man standing match. Come on, man. This is our first brawl of the show. Spoiler alert, there are more. Aleister Black attacks Priest from behind. You get Priest choke slamming onto the apron. Aleister Black responding with chair shots that Damian Priest kind of no sells, which honestly I kind of liked. But if you complain about Will Ospreay doing it and you don't complain about this, you're full of crap, just so you know. But Aleister Black ultimately putting Priest through a table with the Meteora. All right. Backstage officials try to escort Priest out. Priest is slammed into the crates. Aleister Black is cracking him with a snow shovel. We get a black mess, and Priest is laid out motionless. So what? Damian Priest is going to win again in another stipulation? This feud has sucked. It's done nothing for either performer. And guess what? Both performers are incredible. Zelina in this role is like her sweet spot to me. And nobody is helping each other. Like, I can't. Hey, this thing that was never good is still going on. Is the end of the year note. Like, Aleister Black is so compelling. He's incredible in the ring. I love watching him work. His style, I love. Like, I want to see people strike like Aleister Black. He is like probably the most unique of the spooky guy kind of avenue. Damian Priest is a former world champion. He was like over as over could be for a while. When they split from the Judgment Day, I almost said the New Day. Another heel turn got wrong. Like, crowds can't get enough of it. You reunite him and Rhea Ripley to then continue. Like, for the love of God, how is creative so bad that these incredible performers are getting weighed down instead of supported by it? People want to cheer for Damian Priest. People are tired of this feud. The amount of times these guys have entered to like not a lot of reaction because they've just dragged this out and run it into the ground so bad. People want to have emotional reactions for these people. My God. How is this still happening? Since SummerSlam? Since before SummerSlam. Ryan Ben saying, watching CFB playoff, but thank you for this, Kate. No problem. No problem. When Cresta was out, I like knew the spoilers of this. I was like, I'm not gonna get a co-host because it's like everybody's doing holiday stuff this weekend. It's a taped episode and they aren't trying. Like, why would I drag someone else through this tonight? Bad Robot saying, hello, favorite post show. I'm back. I've been listening Saturdays while setting up my new place. Well, congratulations. Side note, if a rivalry goes longer than 4 weeks in WWE 2K, Triple H emails you that it's stale, just saying. This is something that I've talked about ad nauseum on post shows. It's something that came up, but I filled in on In the Weeds yesterday as well. There is a difference between long-term and dragged-out storytelling, and there is not a promotion on earth that isn't guilty of getting those two things confused or muddied up or however you want to identify it. Like everybody does it. Every promotion does it because it's just inevitable and impossible to keep something fresh every week if you're going to keep it going on this long. This feud has never worked. Not once. I have not heard anyone say, wow, this is the feud that's holding SmackDown together. Or, wow, Damian Priest has looked so great from this feud. Or, wow, what a great use of Aleister Black. Because the first thing that happens when they pair him with Zelina is they continue to lose. My God. Why? Who asked for this? So you have like some of the highest world-class wrestlers and Aleister Black, who like, man, when you combine his character and his ring style, if you're not compelled as a wrestling fan, that's fine, but I sure as hell am. Like, he talks with this quiet authority and is clearly off his rocker in certain ways, right? And then you add Zelina to the picture, which only makes it better. And then when he gets in the ring, he's a striking monster. And you put him in there with Damian Priest, who is like, I will chokeslam you from 700 feet in the air. And is like what should work about this, and what probably would have, is if this wasn't still going on, is like Aleister Black has this calm, cool, and collected assassin thing about him. And Damian Priest has this calm, cool, and magnetic thing about him. Fireballs is what they decided to give us instead. My God. Andrade will be on TV again before this feud ends, says Greg Cherry. My gosh, it feels that way. It feels that way. It's just so unnecessary. And like, God, just, this is the other thing. Like, I try not to compare, but F it. Like, it's the end of year. Everybody's doing awards. Everybody's looking at the year that all these promotions have had. I feel like AEW is in a good, not great place right now because the C2 is always exciting. They have some good stuff going on. What they have going on is fundamentally sound. I think they'll be in a great place soon because you have Takeshita and Okada splitting, which is going to be awesome. You have Jon Moxley leaving the Death Riders, or getting jumped out of the Death Riders soon, probably, which is going to be great. You have Mercedes starting her downfall finally. So there's like a lot of table setting happening right now for things that are going to be great. WWE going into 2026, I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to be excited about. Normally, I can parse out like, these are the things I'm excited about. These are the things that WWE wants me to be excited about. It feels so aimless right now. I don't even know what the hell those things are. Other than Braun Breaker. Like, the IC title is back on Dominic, who they insist on keeping heel, even though the whole crowd wants him to be over. Drew and Cody were running back for the third time so that Drew can lose again, I think. Come on. Man. I'll tell you what's been so much better, though. The women's tag team division. There's been such an emphasis on this division. They've dedicated so much star power to it, which is awesome. And we have this tag team of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Here's what I really like about them. There's nobody else in the division that is built like this. There are a few big badasses and little friends. Charlotte Flair and Alexa, right? Io's not so tiny and Rhea's not so big, but that's, you got like the powerhouse and then someone that's a little bit different, right? There's not anybody that's like, you get through Lash Legend and guess what? You face someone who like, oh, finally I got the powerhouse out of there. And then I met with Nia Jax. Like, that's productive archetype to have in the tag division because there's nobody else like that right now. So I really, really appreciate that about this. We get the Kabuki Warriors versus Nia Jax and Lash Legends here. you get Kyrie doing a great job early, like selling Lash's power and struggling with it. Like you can see with Kyrie, there's a very obvious struggle with the power. She's not like, it's not like I'm just getting my ass kicked. She like doesn't know how to work with it in a way. She's a very good in-ring performer with that stuff. You get Asuka with some of the best striking you'll ever see, and a code breaker. And the Kabuki Warriors hitting a double drop kick in this. But you get into the middle of the match and you have Lash just controlling Kyrie a bunch. Asuka's hot tag, including like double kicks to the head and this flying arm bar. Like good stuff in there. Lash breaking up a near fall, which kind of takes us home for the ending here. You get Kyrie going for the insane elbow, but Nia blocking it and hitting a choke slam and an annihilator to end it. So Nia and Lash in a 12-minute match too. I do appreciate that about it very much. I do appreciate that about it very much because that's probably the longest main roster test, obviously, that Lash has had, and it's a longer match for Nia too. So I'm glad that they gave it some real time. So that is all good news. And then post-match, we get Charlotte Flair and Alexa storming to the ring and clearing house, and kind of positioning themselves as next in the women's tag picture, which I like. Like, they want their titles back. They're still friends. There was not a turn in War Games from Charlotte on Alexa, right? So you have some of the heaviest hitters in the WWE women's division in this. You've got Rhea. You've got Charlotte. People underestimate Alexa's popularity a lot. She's in there. Io's insane, right? Nia is being trusted to kind of raise Lash alongside of her in this. Like there's some real effort given to the women's division in ways that we have not seen maybe ever, certainly in a very long time. Guys, keep these super chats and humper chats coming. I'm going to need them tonight. This episode was not great. Greg Cherry saying, watch Priest and Black be number 1 and 2 in the Rumble. I will throw my TV out a window. Nobody will know where my TV is located because I will have tossed it out a window. But even if I kept my TV inside, you wouldn't know where the internet connection was because I have NordVPN on my TV. That's how I watch SmackDown and NXT on Netflix. Sean Ross App's going to tell you all about NordVPN.
If you're a wrestling fan and you're not using NordVPN, what are you doing? WWE content in its own, all with one Netflix subscription, thanks to NordVPN.com/Fightful. Right now, in order to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, PLEs, you need Netflix, you need CW Network, you need USA, you need Peacock for Saturday night's main event and ESPN Unlimited, or you get NordVPN.com/Fightful. Download the app. It's very easy. Pay the basic tier, just $2.98 a month it averages out to, and you can access all that WWE content with one Netflix account. Just change your virtual location, and you are set. It is a must-have for wrestling fans, especially as money gets tighter and especially as you got to go everywhere to get wrestling content. Head over to NordVPN.com/Fightful because it's not just that feature. There's so many more that you can check out over at NordVPN.com/Fightful. We've had hundreds, if not thousands, of wonderful users report back about their great viewing experience here. NordVPN.com/Fightful.
NordVPN, the goat of VPNs. They're so great to us, and I say it like week over week, but we just continue to get so much great feedback about Nord. I genuinely use it. It's such a valuable tool, and they are also present sponsors for the Fightful Awards. Quite frankly, making them financially possible / a lot easier. We're so lucky this year to have had so much support, including from Greg Cherry, who is in the chat. But I am so blown away by the amount of support we've had this year in a year where people's dollars are not going as far as they used to. We've had more sponsors than we've ever had. And I was so nervous about it this year because I do a lot on the sales side for it. And you all showed out in the most amazing ways possible. So thank you to Greg, to all of our other sponsors, and to Nord especially, because let me tell you, the trophies ain't cheap. Okay, so they are expensive because we don't want them to look like everybody else is. Like a lot of other people do plaque style and whatever, but we've tried to make sure that there's something that talent can be proud of, especially because we ask for acceptance speeches. So we're very, very thankful for that. Very, very thankful for that. But keep those chats coming. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Many, many more of you watching now than were at the beginning of the show. So a reminder to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. We had a fantastic little debunkathon, if I do say so ourselves, over there today. And a lot of TNA contract news. And there's some ambiguity around that because obviously with the move to AMC, people wanted to, I think, know probably like what the financial pictures were going to look like all around. So some people agreeing to short-term deals, some people getting locked in, some people not locked in, but were reported by other places as locked in. FightfulSelect.com's got you covered. So hang out with us over there and get accurate information first. And plenty on the Blake Monroe, Thea Hale ending too. That has been something that's been continuing to develop as well. So let's keep rocking and rolling through this episode of SmackDown. More women's action as we get Giulia and Alba Fyre. Speaking of things that just keep getting run back, like this women's U.S. title picture, they cannot help themselves. They cannot. It's just Chelsea and a Chelsea stooge, or when Piper Niven's healthy. I miss her. I miss watching Piper work so much. She's so much fun to watch wrestle. Facing people until they get to Chelsea. In this case, get back to Chelsea. I say this week over week, we got a quick match here, a dominant match here from Giulia, finishing with the Arrivederci knee and the Northern Lights bomb. There was an opening double leg takedown and mounted strikes from Giulia in this. Alba Fyre rallied back with the tornado DDT to super kick. Giulia countering a glamorous driver attempt in this too. Less than 4 minutes, this match goes. And I know it's supposed to be a dominant win, so if you want to argue that's the story, that's fine. Here's my problem, and here's what I say every week. And I'm sorry you hear it every week, but they put on the same shit every week, so I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. Giulia was super over in NXT. Do you know why Giulia was super over in NXT? Because she got to wrestle. She got to wrestle real matches. Long matches. Matches against very high quality opponents. That's not a knock to Alba Fyre. I wish we got to see the Kaylee Ray version of Alba Fyre more often, but that's not the role she's in right now. So I can accept that. A match that's maybe gotten overlooked, but I was glad to see people talking about again for Women's Match of the Year was Giulia and Jordynne Grace. And I'm not going to go on about it again because I already have said so many times, like, why won't they just do Giulia and Jordynne Grace on the main roster? Why won't they let Giulia wrestle on the main roster? Why isn't Jordynne Grace on the main roster? What is she doing in NXT? I stand by that. But the point being, like, the reason people remember that was they beat the ever-living dog crap out of each other. Giulia works hard. Giulia works, I was going to say stiff, but I'm not going to segue to Blue Chew ad read from that. So whatever. Like, I don't like the main roster allergy to they get over on their wrestling. Javon Evans seems to have overcome it. But like they just started to care about Carmelo Hayes, like just recently, like the past month recently, which is great. I've been advocating for it. People have been asking for it like crazy. But it's like they resent that Carmelo Hayes was getting over because of his wrestling. And with Giulia, that's the secret sauce to getting her over. It's not, oh, the language barrier, got to cover it up with the manager. It's like, it's none of those things. It's not that she's a better chaser than she is like, it's not any of that. Like, just let her have matches. Just let her have honest to God wrestling matches where she gets to beat the heck out of people. Her look is amazing. Her entrance is super cool. Right? Like I just it boggles the mind. It boggles the mind. But Giulia chases Chelsea from the ring, or from ringside rather. Crowd reaction was kind of split. They didn't really have a chance to get into this match because it just ended. But this is the other thing, like this whole heel angle with Giulia. She's up against a comedic heel in this. And Chelsea feels, I don't want to say she feels face leaning because she has stooges. Certainly the work she's doing with Ethan Page is very heel aligned. But like, man, I feel like they sometimes act like things are a mystery when they are not. Like, it's not always we need to do more in this direction or that direction. It's like sometimes you just gotta let things breathe. Sometimes you just gotta stay the course. Sometimes you gotta put your faith in people's wrestling abilities and the art of in-ring wrestling to get people over. Giulia defended the title like twice or something in 2 months or whatever. Like it's just if you know 3 things about Giulia, if one of them is that she's a Joshi wrestler, you're probably thinking, okay, well, in-ring's going to be an important way to push. Like, if you saw any matches of hers in NXT, you're probably thinking, well, maybe we should let this girl wrestle. Like, let her go. Like, man. Same for Kaylee Ray. I would like to see her get to be something more than like a Chelsea Green goofball, but she's also on TV more than she was. And I'm all for wrestlers getting paid and having jobs. And she's serving the purpose well. So I'm not going to criticize it from that perspective. It's just not how I would choose to use Kaylee Ray, the longest reigning women's NXT UK champion of all time. I think longest reigning NXT women's champion history. Don't quote me on that. Tim McFowle saying late to the party, but wanted to jump on to wish her royal sourness a Merry Christmas. I'm sour today, buddy. I don't watch SmackDown when it's live, let alone recorded. I would watch if Giulia was featured in the ring more. That's it. Like, there's not always like some. It's like, you know, those memes where it's like somebody's face and then math happening. Sometimes it's a dog and then math happening. Like, it's not that. It's really not. Like, it's just not. And they're like, well, she's not getting reactions. It's like, well, yeah, because you don't let her wrestle for more than 4 minutes. Stinks. It stinks. Anyway. Let's talk about this Cody and Drew thing. We get a pre-tape. Can Rob Fee book? Like, I'm not reporting that he produced it. It just feels like maybe he did. I don't know that. I haven't heard it. But Rob Fee, when he gets his fingers on something great, like, the production is out of control. Awesome. The Maxine and Natty vignettes were a Rob Fee thing. That was reported on Fightful Select. Those have been phenomenal. All the Wyatt 6 stuff, those have been phenomenal. That was Rob Fee production. This Cody Rhodes Drew thing, the production was incredible. The content of it was just, they're putting lipstick on a pig. We got this pre-tape that shows Nick Aldis negotiating with Drew McIntyre. Aldis offers Drew a title match if he apologizes and pays a fine. Drew says he gets to choose the stipulation and Cody can't touch him before the match or he has to forfeit the title. Nick Aldis agrees. Can someone explain to me why they want Drew McIntyre back so bad? Like a kayfabe reason. I understand Drew McIntyre's value to something. Do not get me wrong there. Why in kayfabe do they want now he's just like a pissy pants loser. Like all the like He's justified. He's justified. Why do they want this guy who only causes problems and loses? I would love to know that. I would love to know the kayfabe reason why it's like it's such a big deal that Drew is not around. Why is that? I want to see Drew McIntyre on my screen. Why does Nick Aldis feel like we can't lose this guy? Like this guy who just had 2 title shots that he lost relatively clean. He was a former world champion before I was around here, and then for 5 minutes until the Money in the Bank angle played out, right? So Cody shows up at Drew's house because he just has had not enough of this. And to this, I wonder why Cody needs to get his hands on. Why does he care that Drew's gone? Why? He beat him twice in a row. Who gives a shit? This guy's whining about it being an unsafe work environment. You beat him 2 times in a row. Why aren't you showing up at his house? I get because of what happened last week. Because Drew crossed the line. I guess I don't understand. Cody's like, we got to get him back in so that I can beat him again. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. This felt so hot when like Cody just did his street clothes. If he wears those suits on the street, God bless him. But like that one week where it was like he just came out swinging and just beat the ever living tar to Drew. This felt so hot going into that second match, and then he just won. He just won. I get that Drew crossed the line last week, and this is supposed to be payback. But like, what is this need to get this guy back into a WWE ring? So later, Cody addresses the crowd. The unsafe working environment line comes up. I appreciated that he called out, he was like, what's a safe working environment for you? Staples? Like, what? So I think Cody is pro Office Max. But Nick Aldis warns Cody that he crossed a line too. He can't do anything about the law. But he had to make a bad deal to get Drew back. And he explains to him what went down. And this I like from Cody. And this I've liked so much more in his second reign. He feels like a champion more. Not that he didn't feel like a champion the first time around. I feel this way about Hangman Page too. How about that? He's like, I think you've forgotten who I am. Which is kind of my complaint with this whole thing. Like, we've got to get Drew back is still something I need answered in kayfabe. But Cody's like, you know I'm the champion, right? You don't need to like I'm the guy. You don't need to make bad deals on my behalf to bring someone else back. I'm the one that's QB1. I'm the one carrying the show around here. And that I really, really like. Cody feels like a smarter, wiser, more poised champion the second time around. And I very much appreciate that character development. Because it's not something that was a complaint the first time around. My complaint with his first title run was the booking. And that I felt like all of Kevin Owens' points were extremely accurate. I was like, wait a minute. How is Kevin Owens the heel in this? And I'm always rooting for Kevin Owens anyway. So I just I really, really like that aspect of Cody's character currently. Like I think that's really great. I do not know why Drew is so invaluable to the SmackDown program. If he was constantly squashing other guys in between, which I believe he should. If Drew McIntyre was just running through dudes, just beating the ever-living crap out of them in between these massive losses, like we haven't really gotten that. Like there's nothing in a wins and loss world, and not everything has to be super driven by wins and losses, but when you've taken this many losses on paper, Drew's kind of a jobber. This guy loses all the time. So when I look at him, I'm not like, that guy should be a jobber. When I hear him speak, I'm not like, that guy should be a jobber. At some point, Dude's got to win. Now, if he beats Cody this time around, that'll help. But I would not put money on it. I wouldn't. But if I was going to put money on it, you know where I would? MyBookie AG.
At MyBookie AG, they say that you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. And they mean it. NBA, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, UFC, pro wrestling. But that's not it. Motorsports, golf, tennis, darts, cycling, cricket, handball, floorball, rugby, snooker, volleyball, table tennis, cycling. Yeah, you can bet on it at MyBookie AG. They got the best support system in the business. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But go take advantage of being able to bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. They got live esports. They got racing. They got everything at MyBookie AG. And right now, get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. You can bet with Bitcoin and play their great casino games as well. MyBookie AG.
MyBookie AG. Taylor Cannon saying, I also wanted to wish one of my favorite humans on the planet a Merry Christmas. I hope you have an amazing holiday. Taylor, I try to say it as much as I can. You're just the best of us. Like, the way that you show up and support is so appreciated by us. But, like, even more than that, just, like, you are the most positive energy to have around here. And it's so wonderful and warm and kind. And I love when you're in the chat, which is frequent. And I'm thankful for that. But you're just like always, you're just always that dude. Like, you're just always being awesome. Tim McFall saying, I just had a crazy thought. Book Drew to beat Cody for the title and then have Oba beat Drew for it at Mania. Cody Roman doesn't need the belt or to happen at all, to be honest, but Triple H seems obsessed with it for some reason. Brother. Okay. Here's where they can fix it. If there's an Oba and Drew program, belts or not, I'm in. Because they had that stare down at the John Cena exhibition matches. And I'm like, yes, let's do that. Please, let's do that. Let's do that. Like, sign me up any day of the week for Oba Femi and Drew McIntyre. Please. If that is the program, that would be awesome. Do I think it'll be for the belt? No. Do I think that they have the balls to do it? No. Do I think Oba Femi's the champion headed in to Stand and Deliver? Very possible. Very possible. I hope not. I don't think he needs it. I think he has passed every test they gave him. It does feel like if you're putting him in a spot that is on John Cena's last match ever against the current WWE World Champ, you got big plans for him. So I'm optimistic in that regard. But, like, they just are doing the least exciting stuff ever. So it's hard for me to get excited about it. Now, am I excited about the possibility of it? Hell yeah. Do I think we're going to get that anytime soon? No. I just did this thing that I hate. I hate when people ask their own questions and answer them. And I just did that like 9 times in a row. I hate when people do that. There's no reason. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Man. I'm mad at myself for doing that. But I'm all fired up, but I have no co-host. It's just like an annoying speech pattern. I think it's because, like, when other white girls do it, it's like, do I like him? No. But, like, is he tall? Yeah. Like, it's, oh, man. It's a pet peeve of mine. And I just fell into my own trap. Greg Cherry says Oba Femi will win Royal Rumble by entering 30 and tipping the ring over. Listen, I'm not mad about that. But I know Greg Cherry would be like, and then he faces Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. So I don't know. Oh, man. Let's keep working through this episode. I really hope, and they seem to. So far, they seem to, both in NXT on the main roster. They seem to realize how important it is that Oba Femi be booked with incredible intentionality, much like Gunther. Like, if that guy doesn't have a title around his waist, he should be searching for ways to get back to gold 90% of his career. Now Gunther has this other very important side quest that he's doing. It seems like the guy that's going to retire everyone is awesome. But the way that Gunther has been booked, like if he's not chasing a title, he's usually off TV. That's like the majority of Gunther's reign. And I feel like putting Obafemi in a similar track is the way to go with that guy because he's a world beater. He doesn't need to be super face. He doesn't need to be super heel. He can be either. But like him being this tweener that just takes on all challengers, let's do it. I can't say I watch NXT. I know that not everybody in the chat does, but I cover it every week. And like we just cannot say enough things about how quickly Obafemi's taken to this business and how you could see them testing Obafemi in NXT of like, how do you do in triple threats? How do you do against a small opponent that you have to sell for? How do you do against another guy your size? Like you could see them lining it up. It was cool because they did that by having him be a champion that wants to fight everybody. Like it wasn't chicken shit stuff away from trying not to defend. Like it's been really, really, really great. And it seems like so far, like main roster knows that like, okay, we're going to make his appearances count. Greg Cherry saying Shane McMahon will win the Rumble, entering number 1 and eliminating all 29 other people. Best in the world shit. Yeah, no, he'll run the table. He'll run the table. Thank you guys for the super chats. I've needed them today. This was a weak episode and I'm all alone out here. So I appreciate it. Let's talk about this tag match that sets up a big spoiler for next week. That's already out there. I'm not going to spoil it here. But DIY versus Ilja Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. Give us the non-deaf Rebel theme back, please. Please give us Rebel Heart back. Please, sir. It's my Christmas wish. No more Deaf Rebel themes. Especially Rebel Heart. And I always forget Tommaso Ciampa's theme too, but it's kind of a banger. I love it. But you can't give that to us and then take it away again. That just breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. But this is, to the surprise of nobody, very good. DIY versus Ilja Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. Like, stop. So good. Early on, you have just like some brawling between Dragunov and Ciampa, which is good stuff. Those two guys are like, do you mind if I beat the hell out of you? No? Do you mind if I beat the hell out of you? No. Oh, okay, great. And then you have DIY kind of isolating Ilja, going after his knee a lot, which was good stuff. Gargano and Ciampa tagging frequently and cutting off Carmelo Hayes a lot. Like some good early in-match storytelling. DIY, like, sometimes I think it's lost on people just how good they are at, like, tag wrestling psychology specifically. Because, like, the tag division on SmackDown has a lot of juice to it. But, like, I think in-match storytelling, a lot of the matches get constructed the same in the tag division, and DIY always just finds ways to do really interesting stuff and like make everything make sense. But you have a Constantine special here, which is the beginning of that side like taking the momentum back, so to speak. A hot tag to Carmelo, that springboard clothesline, La Mystica face buster, all the stuff that makes you say, why haven't you been pushing this guy? But now they are. So there you go. I'm sorry. I have a lot of resentment build up. But they are pushing Carmelo now. Ilja returning with a nasty German suplex and senton. But in the finish, we get Candice LeRae almost costing Carmelo Hayes, but Ilja wiping out Gargano with the Torpedo Moscow. Hayes hitting the first 48 and the nothing but net to win it. So I liked this. This was the most complete match on the show, and Carmelo getting the pin kind of entitles him to getting an open challenge shot against Ilja next week. I will let the details of that simmer in your brains. And if you are interested in to see how that goes, you can check spoilers on the internet, but I'm not going to talk about them here. They started waking up with Carmelo a little bit ago. They had him in there with Cody. This program with Ilja is great. So they kind of turned the gas up on him really quick after keeping him low on the burner. Not even medium low, like just low on the burner for a while. But like he's another one that all of his promos are a supernatural delivery. He's everything that they need to make a complete WWE superstar. And I hope that they're finally waking up to that. I hope that they're waking up to that for sure. For sure. Guys, keep those super chats and humper chats coming. We got a little bit more to talk about here. We get some backstage developments with Charlotte and Alexa promising to challenge whoever holds the tag titles. You get Jade Cargill confronting Michin. They got to adjust the depth of the SmackDown division. They just do. Ivy Nile's been on the bench at Raw for months, and I would love to see her versus Jade Cargill. Now she's facing Lyra Valkyria for no reason. Or not Lyra, Maxine. She's facing Maxine. Also for no reason. She has not been on TV. She has not had wins on TV. She just is because they're out of people. So they need to get Giulia on track. They need to address the value and potential of the women that they do have there. I feel like Candice LeRae would be a nice challenger for anybody instead of only palling around with DIY. And there are certainly people that they could call up from NXT if they needed to. But they called up 4 big guns, right? They called up Roxanne, they called up Steph, they called up Giulia. I feel like there are ways to have utilized them better. Certainly Giulia. Steph is obviously off to a phenomenal start. And Roxanne has at least been on TV consistently. I think she has more losses than any woman on the roster this year, though, which is not great. But she's has a role that she's playing well, right? So that part is good. Michin just constantly losing to people for no reason is stupid. It happened with the US title a million times. Now it's happening with the world title. She doesn't have wins in the intermittent weeks to make her worthy of a challenge. Like, just booking 101, man. So lost on this program. I'm not like surprised that this episode was this not good because it's a taped episode. So let's talk about our main event shortly. But before we do, I'm going to tell you about our friends at Aura Frames, who have sponsored every show at Fightful for December. And they're doing so because it's the holiday season, baby. Okay? You're going to want to get your gifts, and we are coming up on the holidays. So get your Aura frame sooner than later because it's not too late to get a super personalized gift that is very easy to take care of. Aura frames, digital picture frame. You've seen a lot of them out there, but there are some fantastic aspects to Aura frames that not everybody has, including that you can preload yours so that when somebody opens their Aura frame, what's on there? Oh, all the pictures and videos that you wanted to upload, make it super personal. Fantastic stuff. It's already personalized when they open it. It comes in a gift box already, and you can just continue to refresh that. Just continue to upload pictures and videos as you want, as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi and using their app. We had someone say that they bought an Aura frame as a fantasy football punishment because they are going to upload like embarrassing moments and pictures of the fantasy football loser. So there's a lot of creative ways you can use your Aura frame, but for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com and get $35 off the best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, and use the promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout. That's auraframes.com and the promo code FIGHTFUL. This deal is exclusive to listeners of Fightful, and frames sell out quick, so order yours in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions do apply, but we thank them for investing in Fightful so heavily, and they really are a fantastic product, and $35 off is a nice chunk of change. A lot of people will kind of Just get free shipping or 10% off. $35 off is a decent amount over there. So we are so thankful. Let's keep working through SmackDown. Last call for Super Chats and Humper Chats as we talk about the Wyatt 6 versus the MFTs. The Wyatt 6 has one of these fantastic videos. We shouted out Rob Fee before. Like, there have been issues with the Wyatt 6 and their booking. You know what there has not been issues with? This stuff. This stuff is always fire. He warned Solo that his obsession with power will destroy his family. Solo fires back in a backstage, promising to embarrass them and claiming the world is still in his hands. I'm kind of missing sarcastic high school bully Solo a little bit, but he's gotten better at these more grounded promos, and it's important because you need to be able to contrast the sarcastic attitude against the serious so that it has something to play off of. You're a much stronger and better character with more depth when that happens, because if you're just sarcastic all the time, you just come across as kind of like, yeah, whiny or whatever. But when it's like time to turn the screws, if you can do that the way Solo Sikoa has been, good stuff. But we get Lumis controlling early. We get headlocks here, some rope running, back suplex, a leapfrog, or a leaping leg drop, excuse me. JC Mateo ramming Lumis into the ring post. And that swings momentum before the break that we have there. And we get Mateo and Tongaloa isolating Lumis with some double team offense. You got a double headbutt in here, standing moonsault and power slams all over the place. And Lumis firing back with some super kicks and tagging Gacy, who hits a suplex, that handspring clothesline, which I still don't know how he does for like the way that guy is built. I'm like, you pull off some pretty athletic moves for like a big brawler dude. But they dive onto both challengers. The champs connect with the plague, but Lumis hits a follow-up splash, which looked rough, and it's broken up by Tongaloa at the last second. But the finish here, Gacy is thrown to the floor, and Talatonga interferes. Eric Rowan storms in, ringside brawl, and the referee throws out the match. So shout out to Jeremy Lambert, who said, I'm no longer reviewing WWE shows when there is interference, finishes, or non-finishes in the main event. So he will not have to review this episode of SmackDown. Congrats to him. He deserves it. Jeremy's a hardworking, a kind young man. He shouldn't have to review these things. Next week, we get Ilja Dragunov's U.S. Open Challenge, The Miz versus Joe Hendry, who, oh my gosh, how could I leave out the British Balls segment of all things? And Drew McIntyre officially returning. We did have a segment earlier where R-Truth calls Joe Hendry Joe Pesci, so he does not appear because he said it wrong. And he tells Nick Aldis not to be insecure because the world saw his British balls. So, hey, remember when Ron Killings turned heel and it was super compelling? That was neat. Man, oh man. But guys, that wraps up our SmackDown post-show for today. I don't know if there's going to be a Collision post-show tomorrow. Cresta is going to be there and Meridian is out for the next few weeks. So we might still whip something up, but the holiday seasons, we try to be flexible too with our staff a little bit here. So we will keep you posted on that, but you will have Grapsody. If you are not watching next week because of the holiday, just have a safe and wonderful holiday from me and from Fightful to you. I know this year has been wild for a lot of people on a lot of different fronts. I'm one of them. And I hope that everybody just kind of has a minute over the holiday to reset. I sound like a Delilah commercial. Do you remember Delilah? Like anybody who was in the suburbs and had a mom with a minivan, you know who I'm talking about. The radio gal who's like, maybe you're baking cookies, or maybe you've had a long day and you want to unwind with a glass of wine. That gal. You know who I'm talking about. That's who I sound like at the end of here. But I sincerely appreciate all of your support this year. And The holidays are hard for a lot of people too. So just be kind to yourselves, be kind to other people during this time. If you are grieving or it brings up difficult times or you have strained familial relationships, that can be really hard. If you are in recovery from anything, I know some of my loved ones that are in recovery, this is a treacherous time of year because you go Thanksgiving, Christmas into New Year. So take care of yourselves however you need to, but have a safe and wonderful holiday from us here at Fightful. And we will be off Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. The hump is moving to Tuesday and Sean is doing a humpathon. So take that as you will, but have a wonderful holiday and happy and healthy 26 as well. I will be here next week. And to those of you who I will see next week, I'll see you then.